Not me, kids.
Pretty close. Good evening. I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone in the audience. I appreciate your presence with us tonight. The board, superintendent, and I are pleased that you have joined us as we celebrate achievement. We're going to review information tonight and make policy decisions related to the effective operation of the Polk County School Board, and we're excited about that. I would like to call the December 12th, 2023 school board member to order. Now, if you can all please stand, I would actually like to ask School Board Member Lori Cunningham. She's going to give our invocation, and then if you can all please remain standing for the Pledge of the Allegiance.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to ask everybody to bow your heads in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many blessings that you bestow upon each of us every day. Lord, we ask for your wisdom and guidance as we address the business of the board tonight. As we begin this most fun and exciting holiday season, please keep our students, our staff, and all of our families around our district safe. In your Son's most holy name, we pray, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Cunningham. At this time, I would like to invite our guest, Mr. Michael Morris, to lead us in our pledge.
All right. Michael.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you ready? Okay. Go ahead. Come on. Go ahead. Yo prometo lealtad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa una nación bajo Dios indivisible con libertad y justicia para todos.
That is awesome. All right, so we can all at this point be seated, but our special guest is going to remain with us for just a moment, and we get to hear a little bit about him as well. So just so you know, Mr. Morris is 8, and he attends Sandhill Elementary, which has been, and he's in the actual dual language program there. So we're so happy that you're here, Mr. Moore. So I do have a couple questions for you. Are you ready for this? Oh, yeah, I appreciate that smile. That is awesome. So can you introduce yourself and then anybody that you brought with you tonight as well?
My name is Michael, and I brought my mom and dad and Miss Conley.
All right, very good. Glad you're here. And I hear that both of your parents are educators as well. That's pretty awesome. So thank you all for your service to the district as well. So my first question to you is, what is it like learning 2 languages?
It is cool.
It is cool. That is amazing. So do you dream in Spanish or English?
Both.
Really? Wow. Okay. Now, what is your favorite subject in school?
Reading.
Reading. Wow. Do you read in both languages, or do you have a preference?
We read in both languages.
Wow, that is incredible. Okay, so I see that you enjoy being outside as well. Is that true? What do you like about being outside?
Playing with the neighbors.
Playing with the neighbors. Oh, man, that's awesome. Okay, so here's the question. Here's the big question. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A school guardian.
Man, oh, yes, yes, indeed. We need that. We need that. So thank you, thank you. Now, can you tell us what you like best about your school?
It's because I have a Spanish and English teacher.
Wow. All right. And I hear you're looking forward to Christmas. Do you have a wish list? Like the top thing on your Christmas wish list?
A bike.
A bike. All right. Well, I just want to say thank you all so much for joining us. It's great to have you in the boardroom. And for me, this is the first time, a very unique way that you led us in the pledge. So, Mr. Morris, thank you, thank you, thank you. And enjoy the rest of the year, and you have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
Thank you. All right, pretty amazing. Board members, our first item on the agenda tonight is to accept our agenda. Superintendent Hyde, any revisions to the agenda as printed?
There are, Mr. Chair. Item H7, contract lease agreement with Day One Academies, DBA Bezos Academy, excuse me. The attachment was updated today. Item K2, administrative and instructional personnel actions, was also updated with an attachment. Those conclude all the changes, sir.
All right, very good. Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. So at this time, the chair is going to entertain a motion to accept the agenda for December 12th, 2023, with a note of revisions. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Okay, Mrs. Cunningham made the motion, and I heard Ms. Fields made the second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote at this point. So the motion is to accept the December 12th, 2023 school board agenda as presented. And all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those oppose? All right, very good. Motion carries. The next item up is our special recognitions. Superintendent Hyde, would you please lead us through our special recognitions?
It would be my pleasure. It would be my pleasure. Before we begin recognitions, I'd like to invite Ms. Beth Cummings, Senior Director of Fine Arts, to come forward and introduce a special holiday performance.
Yeah, I'm turning them on and off. Yeah.
That's not what it shows here.
Lisa was supposed to go down. No, we're all supposed to go sit there for the film.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy's going to be.
Okay.
He came in while y'all were.
Ms. Cummings?
They're coming.
That's okay. It's my pleasure to introduce some of our administrators.
There you go.
Good afternoon, everyone. So happy to be able to bring to you a little bit of holiday cheer. You're going to hear a couple of numbers from the Harrison School for the Arts bass choir under the direction of T. Jordan McCarthy. We'll hear the first piece is from the Hanukkah tradition. It is El Yenev. The next one is going to be a wish for a happy new year. So without further ado, this is the bass choir from Harrison School for the Arts under the direction of T. Jordan McCarthy.
Baruch Ibne Agalil, Barukine Hagalil, Barukine Hagalil, Elile Hagalil, Elile Hagalil, Elile Hagalil, Elile Hagalil, Barukine Hagalil, Barukine Hagalil, Barukine Hagalil, 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 Hagalil.
When the clock strikes 12 and another year has gone, I give a kiss to you as remembrance of the past we have shared and the future yet to come. We toast the days both good and bad, the old friends and the new. When the clock strikes 12 and another year has gone, I give a kiss to you. While the night is long and the bitter cold has come, we lengthen our embrace to sustain us as we mourn our regrets and the fear of days unknown. We toast the days both good and bad, the old friends and the new. While the night is long and the bitter cold has come, I give a kiss to you. As we stand on the edge of another bright new year, I take your hand in mine. With assurance of courage we will find, and the hope that leads us on. We toast the days both the good and bad, the old friends and the new. As we stand on the edge of another bright new year, I give a kiss to you.
Wow. Wow.
So awesome.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you. What a great way to kick off the holiday season and before we leave for break and recognize our students as we've remained committed to doing that on a more frequent basis. So parents, if any of those children were here and they're yours, what an amazing job and an opportunity we have to have them perform like that and in such beautiful voices. So really. At this time, it's my opportunity to introduce many of our new administrators who were approved by the board recently. First is Mr. Frederick Brooks, Acting Senior Director for School Improvement, is being promoted to Senior Director for School Improvement.
Good evening, Chairman Allen, honorable board members, Superintendent Hyde. I want to thank you for this opportunity to be able to serve and support Polk County Public Schools and the students and families. I also want to thank Mr. Wayne Green and all the Division of School members, especially Ms. Beth Nave and Ms. Talay Kendrick, who I serve and support every day. I also, before I leave this podium, want to make sure I especially thank my wife and my life partner. She's been to a couple of these with me over the career, but I couldn't do what I do each and every day without her support. So thank you.
Thank you. Next up, is Michael Chavuzzi, Network Operations Senior Manager, promoted to Director of Network Operations. And it appears he was unable to join us this evening. Next is Ms. Jessica Anderson, Curriculum Specialist, promoted to Assistant Director for Agriculture, Career, Tech, and Adult Ed. Long time coming.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening. I am very honored and grateful for this opportunity to step into this new role. I wanted to express my deepest gratitude to Superintendent Hyde and to Mr. Cochran for their guidance, support, and trust in me. I'm excited about the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. I will dedicate myself fully to this role, leveraging my skills and experiences to contribute positively to Polk County Public Schools. Of course, I wouldn't be successful in my career if it wasn't for my family, who encouraged me to continue to learn new things and strive for new challenges, even when this sometimes takes me away from my family. Their support does not go unnoticed, and it's appreciated beyond measure. Thank you all once again for believing in me. I'm eager to collaborate and to grow and create an environment where career and technical education, especially agricultural education, thrives in Polk County. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. Congratulations.
I think we're going to take a picture of the three of us all together.
Okay.
We make our own plan. Yeah.
Next is Ms. Leanne Bennett, Curriculum Specialist, who's being promoted to Assistant Director of Human Resource, Career, Tech, and Adult Ed.
I was told I could move the mic because they know I'm short. Superintendent Hyde and board members, I'm truly honored and grateful for the opportunity to serve as Assistant Director. I appreciate the confidence and support extended to me. I look forward to contributing my best efforts and working collaboratively with you all, with our community and our team to achieve collective goals. Thank you also to Mr. Cochran for his guiding role in CTE. I'd also like to acknowledge my husband, Todd, for being here and his continued support in CTE. Thank you again for entrusting me with this responsibility. I'm eager to embark on the journey. Thanks.
Earned it. Next is Mr. Cornelius Jackson, Curriculum Specialist, being promoted to Assistant Director of Business, Career, Tech, and Adult Ed.
Good afternoon. So I would like to say that I'm deeply honored and humbled to accept the role of Assistant Director of Business and Marketing Management with Workforce Education. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Superintendent Hyde, the esteemed board, and Senior Director Stephen T. Cochran for entrusting me with the incredible opportunity. I owe an immeasurable debt of gratitude to my family, whose unwavering support and encouragement have been my bedrock. Their sacrifice and belief in me have made this achievement possible. I am committed to upholding the trust placed in me and working diligently to contribute positively to Polk County Public Schools. Thank you for this privilege, and I eagerly anticipate the chance to serve and make a meaningful difference. I also like to acknowledge my parents who are at home taking care of our kids. I love you, Mom and Dad. You've always done the best things for me and encouraged me to do better, so thank you so much.
You forgot to say you'll be home tomorrow.
Yes.
And if any of you have family with you, please, we want to take a picture with them with you as well. So. Any family, friends, or colleagues, please come on down. I saw Mr. Bennett lurking there for a moment. Congratulations again. Next is Susan Wilcoxon, Acting Assistant Director of School Counseling, being promoted to Assistant Director of School Counseling. Congratulations.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. I never thought that my second career would end up here. I started out owning my own business in Orange County, having a degree in psychology and volcanology. And my father said, with a quarter, you could get a cup of coffee. But if he was alive today, he'd know it's $5.09 to get that cup of coffee. But I went ahead and decided I went to a seminar, and I heard Harry Wong live and in person. And he made a big impact on me. Harry Wong told you to greet children at the door, tell them that you love them, tell that you care about them, and truly do care about them. I said, that's what I want to do. So I started working at Nickelodeon Studios and Mickey Mouse Club, and I taught science. Then Bruce Tonjes from way back when said, please come to Polk County and teach science here. So I did. So I taught science for 10 years, got my master's, started becoming a counselor, and I've been a counselor for high school and middle school. Then I came up to the district, and I started working with programmers, which is what my first job was, and I started creating reports for the counselors that would make their life a little easier, and my plan is to continue that with elementary, middle, and high school. I taught your daughters at Rochelle. Proud to still know them, and I'm very honored, and I thank you very much.
Congratulations.
I want to thank my husband, too.
Next up is Brian Andrews, 11-month assistant principal at Bill Duncan Opportunity Center, being promoted to a 12-month assistant principal at Bill Duncan Opportunity Center. Not with us this evening. Miss Nicole Boizo, acting assistant principal at Haines City High School, is being promoted to assistant principal at Haines City High School.
Hello.
Good evening.
How are you? I'm trying not to be too nervous. I just wanted to thank you, Superintendent Hyde and the board, for giving me this opportunity. I also want to thank all the leaders who had a hand in getting me here, Mr. Tarver, Ms. Sine Clark, Mr. Alonzo Thompson, and Mr. John Campbell. I also want to thank my family and friends for the support. I'm excited and looking forward to working with the students and staff at Haines City High and proud to be a part of the Hornet Nation. Again, thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. And any colleagues or family that want to come down? Yeah, come on. A few. You filled the room.
Love it.
Brad, you're not coming down? She named you. She thanked you.
Wow.
Y'all can go up in the center, you know. You got more room? Yeah.
Scrunch together. There you go. Congratulations again. Ms. Christy Cox, Acting Assistant Principal at Combi Academy of Design and Engineering, is being promoted to Assistant Principal at Combi Academy of Design and Engineering. Okay. Mr. Albert Cummings, 11 months Assistant Principal at Crystal Lake Middle School, is being promoted to 12-month Assistant Principal at Crystal Lake Middle School. Yes, sir, please.
Good evening, Mr. Hyde, school board members, and district staff. I am truly humbled and honored to be selected for this position. First, I'd like to thank God, my family, and my wife. As a person that struggled in middle school and high school due to a lack of making education my priority, and as a first-generation college student, I am truly passionate about the education of the youth. Malcolm X said that education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those that prepare for it today. I'd like to take this time to recognize three amazing principals that I've had in my past that really poured into me as an educator. I believe I have Dr. Nelson back here, Dr. Tracy Nelson. She was my principal at Rochelle School of the Arts. Within my early years of being an administrator or a teacher, she really poured into me about becoming an administrator, about going to get my EDS and everything. She gave me every example, every experience I could possibly hope for as a new teacher. Dr. Myra Richardson, one of my principals at Blake Academy, same thing, poured into me tremendously, gave me every opportunity in the world to make sure that I grew and learned and really honed my skill as an administrator. She actually hired me as an AP at Blake. And Miss Sarah Miranda, she's my current principal at Crystal Lake Middle School. She actually gave me this opportunity to be a 12-month AP. These three ladies have really poured into me, really taught me what it is to be an administrator, and hopefully have laid the path to me to one day be a principal. I really care about the education of the youth. I'm really passionate about them growing as people, not just as students and as scores on test scores, but they are really shaping, and to see them grow and see them develop. I really learned a lot from these three ladies and a lot of other administrators, staff members, and teachers at my schools. They really helped me grow as a person. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night.
Congratulations. Wait, we need a photo. And all the ladies he mentioned and any other family and friends, please come on down. Next, Miss Jennifer Hadsock, Acting Assistant Principal at Lake Alfred Elementary, is being promoted to Assistant Principal at Lake Alfred Elementary. Okay. David Nyholt, Acting Assistant Principal at Davenport Elementary, being promoted to Assistant Principal at Davenport Elementary School.
Good evening. It's been a great honor to be named the Assistant Principal at Davenport Elementary. The goal has always been one that seemed lofty at the time and has taken many years to get to. But that also means that there's lots of people that I need to thank for the opportunity to get here. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Hyde, Mr. Green, Dr. Henry, the board, and Mrs. Brown, my principal. I'd also like to thank several other former principals that I've had that have given me many wonderful experiences to work in and to grow in the leadership area. And being Miss Reynolds and Miss Swindle from Karen Siegel, they were always a great influence and a great help in letting me work through many leadership activities and opportunities. Also like to thank my parents who are in attendance back here. They've always been extremely supportive. Without that, I could not have gotten to where I am, and without any less ado, my wife, thank you for helping me get to this point. Thank you for the sacrifices that I know that you have put through, and the support that you have given, as well as my family. So I know that as we look forward to the future, we've got, it's an honor to serve. It's an honor to serve the staff and students and families at Davenport Elementary, and look forward to continuing in this role.
Congratulations. Come on down, family and friends. Yeah. Jeanette, can you check the lights? Somebody bumped one of the switches.
The lights back there.
Somebody bumped the light switch. There you go.
Yes.
Wait, we got one more. Congratulations. Next, we have Mr. Broderick Ogwezala, Acting Assistant Principal at Lake Alfred Polytech, promoted to Assistant Principal at Lake Alfred Polytech. Did I pronounce it correctly, sir?
It's Ogsawala. Close. All right, thank you guys for having me. It's been wonderful. It's been a great evening so far. So, thanks for having me. I'd like to thank the district for, helping promote me, and obviously Mr. Hyde. It took a lot of people to get me here. I'd like to thank Stacy Gideons and Stephen Cochran for helping teaching me how to be an AP. And I'd like to thank Brett Gross, who actually is my principal now at Lake Alfred Polytech. She took a chance on me, and hopefully I make her proud. Took a lot of families to get me here, so I'd like to thank my workforce family, my Haines City High School family, and my Dundee Ridge Academy family. But most importantly, the only reason why I am here is because of my own family. So my two young ones, Graham and Coraline, and my wonderful wife, Caroline. So,
nice.
Thank you guys.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Come on down. Britt, don't work him too hard in this first year. I doubt that, but. Thank you. Next, we have Miss Linda Ray, Acting Assistant Principal at McLaughlin Middle Senior High, being promoted to Assistant Principal at Lawton Childs Academy. Not with us this evening. And last but certainly not least, Franklin Webster, Administrative Assistant at Auburndale High School, being promoted to Assistant Principal at Auburndale High School. Congratulations, sir.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing today? I'm going to make this very quick. I have a choir rehearsal, choir concert the kids want me to get back to, and a basketball game. So, I would like to say thank y'all very much for the opportunity. I've been at this for almost 20 years now, and I did not think I was going to be an assistant principal. I thought I was going to stay in the classroom until somebody kicked me in the butt and said, Mr. Webster, you need to get into administration. Hurry up, go it. So, I did. I would like to personally thank Mr. Bennett for giving me the opportunity to do so, and all of my family and friends that have helped me along the way, especially my son, Jonathan, and my daughter, Riley. So, thank y'all very much. I'm going to get out of here and go to these games that I said I was going to go to. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Wait. Got to take your picture. Come on down, Todd. We got family and friends. Come on down. Oh, they're wearing Tenorock purple. I don't know if they can be in this picture now. Todd, you know better. Come on. Ooh. Ah. At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Sarah Beth Wyatt to step down for this evening's special recognitions. Ms. Miller was to do this evening, but as you know, she injured her foot. She wanted me to relay to you she won't be joining us the rest of the evening. She's fine. She's in a brace, but she's resting, and she is watching the meeting from home. So, first, I'd like to invite Ms. Susan Copeland, Executive Director of the Polk Education Foundation, to please come forward for a donor recognition. It's good to see you, Susan.
Thank you. Good to see you. You all want to come on up? So some of our folks ended up not being able to make it this evening, but I'm just going to recognize everybody because that's why we're here. So I have a group of folks with me. If you remember last time I was here, I brought a group that helped us do scholarships, helping to send our students to college. And this is another group that does that, but this time through our Take Stock in Children program. So I think you're all aware that our Take Stock in Children program enters students when they start high school, and we provide them support services to make sure that they graduate. That's our ultimate goal, because we have a Florida prepaid scholarship, a 2-year Florida prepaid scholarship waiting for them if they graduate. So they keep up good grades, attendance, and behavior. We match them with a mentor, which is hugely important for them, and just wrap them in what they need to make sure that they achieve their high school diploma. So a benefit to the donors in that program is that then when we purchase scholarships through the Florida Prepaid Foundation, their donations are matched dollar for dollar. So that's good return on investment, and these folks take advantage of that through our scholarship scramble. So we recently had our 21st annual scholarship scramble, and these were key players in that tournament. And so I would just like to recognize them this evening publicly, because through that tournament, with the match, we've raised now $930,000. Yeah, that's a big deal. We have 121 students in our Take Stock in Children program right now, and they all have that 2-year scholarship waiting for them through the Florida Prepaid. So first, with the Citrus Center Kiwanis, and I'll just have you all come forward, and Mrs. Wyatt will have a certificate there if you'll stand with her, is Jim LaPierre, and he is the Citrus Center Kiwanis Club President. And Jim has been supportive for many, many years. He's been a golf committee member and then as club president and leadership there, and we just appreciate everyone in that club. Alan Higgins and Dylan Daniels were supposed to be here this evening but couldn't make it after all. They were co-chairs of our golf tournament. I think both of them have probably served in some capacity over those 20 plus years more than one time, but have really been instrumental in supporting this tournament as it's grown. Catherine Cook is here behind me. Catherine is a Citrus Center Kiwanis Club member. She has been a golf committee chair. She's been in leadership roles with the club, but she's also a Polk Education Foundation board member. So I'd like to brag on her because if memory serves me correctly, those decades ago, she went to her club and said, I can get us a dollar for dollar match when we're raising money. And they already did a golf tournament, and our scholarship scramble was born. So thank you, Catherine, for that history and everything that you've done. So then where those dollars came in, because they helped us put on the tournament and raise them, but then we had sponsors that stepped in. So I brought our top level sponsors. We certainly appreciate them all, but I wanted to recognize first our Albatross sponsor, and that was the Paula Higgins Memorial Fund through the GiveWell Community Foundation, and Alan, who was a chair. That's in memory of his late wife, and she was so passionate about helping students in our community, and that fund, of which he sits on the board, donated $5,000 to the tournament. Then we also had with us, and if any of my other donors come in, please let me know, but first would have been A.D. Morgan, and they were coming from Tampa, so something has happened. Oh my gosh, y'all. Yes, you did. Thank you. All right, well, come on up, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were there. Oh my gosh, all right. So John Califf is the Executive Vice President, and Matthew DiMatteo. He's Vice President of Pre-Construction, and they've been longtime sponsors of our tournament. And then in Venergy Services, the Hardy Power Station, Matt Drennan is here. And I think Matt is now a Citrus Kiwanis Club member too, but they have also been a longtime sponsor of the tournament. And then Dyer Kia, Dave D, and if you know his real last name, you know why I call him Dave D. They are a new sponsor this year who came on board and actually awarded our Take Stock in Children program the Dyer Difference Award, and with that award came some funds to do. So as I said, many sponsors of the tournament. We had 20 plus tournament sponsors, but these folks were very instrumental in helping us raise over $35,000, which then turned into that 70. So with our match. So it's a great thing, and we appreciate you all so very much. So I would be remiss in my duties as director if while I have the mic and speaking to the public that I didn't remember or remind you that I said that all those students needed to have a mentor. So 121 students in the program. We still have about 25 that need mentors. You can mentor in person, you can mentor via chat app, and you can mentor via video app that Take Stock provides. So if anyone's interested in helping a student earn their scholarship, they must have 15 mentor sessions. So crucially important. We've got the award waiting for them. We just need people's help in helping us get them where they need to be. So thank you. Thank you all for what you've done for Take Stock in Children and our students.
She's the queen.
Well done, well done.
Great job. Next, I'd like to invite Ms. Jeanette Crowley, Director of Strategic Planning and Partnerships, to please come forward to help us recognize our Focused on Excellence winners.
School Board Chair, School Board members, and Superintendent Hyde, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm always excited to continue highlighting the important contributions that Polk County Public School employees make for our students through the Focus on Excellence Employee Recognition Campaign. This campaign honors staff members from different employee groups who might get overlooked among the hustle of keeping one of the nation's 30th largest school districts running efficiently. Each quarter, the program will recognize a select group of employees through a nomination and committee process. Today, we'll be recognizing transportation, school nutrition, and non-classroom teachers. The 10 employees are selected as winners and will receive prizes from our generous sponsors, as well as attend a special appreciation luncheon and be honored at a school board meeting. They will also be highlighted on the school district's social media channels, website, and internal and external newsletters. As we go into our fourth year of the program, we've seen it grow tremendously, and we continue to make it a positive impact within our school system. For example, we've increased the number of winners selected from 5 to 10, giving us a total of 40 employees recognized and highlighted each year. We began hosting our appreciation luncheons at the club at Eaglebrook. We've added additional sponsors to support the program. We've offered exclusive PCPS logoed gift items. But the most important thing is, and the benefit of the program, is we're bringing encouragement and appreciation to our employees and impacting their lives in a positive way. I'd like to share one testimonial that I received from Daniel Smith, who's a carpenter in our maintenance department. Daniel did let me know last time I shared his testimonial, he heard it, as he texted me right after, and he's like, Jeanette, I can't believe you're using this, but it's great, because he's one employee that doesn't get highlighted, but he goes above and beyond on a daily basis. So he said, I think it's awesome what you're doing through the Focus on Excellence program. You're exposing people that do good, and not many people do that these days. He said, I'm not great at technology or social media. However, when he was recognized earlier this last year, he said people were coming out of the woodwork, texting and calling him, telling him congratulations. And he said that meant so much to him, being appreciated, and he said thank you so much for that honor. So Susan went through some of sponsors, and we could not do this program without our sponsors. We're so fortunate here in Polk County that we have a lot of amazing business partners and sponsors to help support the work that we're doing. So I'd like to give a highlight to each of the sponsors that support the program. International Diamond Center, IDX, which was formerly Image Depot Express, Mid-Florida Credit Union, Public Supermarkets, Inc., Sign Gypsies, Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa, Chick-fil-A, the Bartow location, A.D. Morgan, they were just up here as well, Compass Mortgage, CPS Investment Advisors, Dixie Southern Industrial, Inc., Lakeland Leads, and the Club at Eaglebrook. Thank you to these business partners who constantly do support the work of our district and come alongside us for the success of this campaign. And due to their financial support, each winner receives a prize package valued at over $600. And we're also able to give every PCPS employee who's nominated through this program a special gift as well. So our winner spotlights. Before I announce our winners, I wanted to mention a few gifts that each are taking home with them tonight. They will receive more at their appreciation luncheon next month. Along with their certificate, they're also receiving a $25 credit to the CPS online store, which is from IDX. They're also receiving from International Diamond Center a certificate to use towards a purchase valued at $100. From Sign Gypsies, they're receiving a gift certificate to use towards yard signage valued at $100. And they're receiving a collector's edition Superintendent Fred Hyde bobblehead as well. They are available for sale as well for everybody else. And from Sunshine Growers, one of these beautiful poinsettias that are in front of us here right now. All right, winners, when I call your name, please come forward with your supervisor. Nina Owens, Routing 9 Specialist in Transportation Operations. So on the nomination, so I want to read real quick on the nomination form why supervisors come up, and before we get a group photo, I asked, how do the employees put students first? So one of the questions was, how do they put students first? So this is what your nominator said. Ms. Owens is always willing to go the extra mile to ensure that our students have transportation arrangements for field trips, sporting events, and everything in between. Recently, they were helping one of their schools try to get a bus for the day before an event. The person wasn't sure who to contact for this school, so she called Ms. Owens and asked if it was even possible. Ms. Owens assured her that it was, helped her make arrangements, and notified the person for that area. She has always been willing to go above and beyond to make sure that the students come first. Thank you and congratulations. Thomas Cummins, who's a bus driver in Area 8 and Transportation Operations. So this is how Thomas puts students first from his nomination form from his nominator. When needed, Mr. Cummins goes out of his way to ensure students get home. Bus drivers have a very tight schedule, but he finds a way to make sure each student has a ride. He puts the student's need to get home over his own. Congratulations and thank you.
That's awesome.
Without this wonderful guy, we couldn't do it. He is amazing.
Kamira Farnell, who's a bus driver and assistant Area 4 in transportation operations. So this is what Kamira said about why she loves working for Polk County Public Schools. She said this coming March will be 17 years that she's been employed with Polk County Public Schools. And she loves working for us as the life balance is amazing. She said it gives her so much time to be with her family. She has an amazing supervisor and awesome coworkers so that making any hectic day manageable. She said what she loves most about her job is the students she transports. And boy, does she love her students. Those are my children, she said, when they are on bus 2244. Her prayer daily is, Lord, let me be a light to my children. And in all honesty, there are some days when they are the light to me. She said, but I wouldn't have it any other way. We have so much fun on the bus, and Bus Party Friday is always a blast. Right? Friday, we're going to show up on your bus. And she said she looks forward to it. She thinks more than the kids do. I think we're all going to look forward to it too now. She said she doesn't think she would have it any other way. So thank you for what you do in loving on our students.
Amazing.
Thank you. All right, Albert Smith. He is a food service manager at Ridge Technical College. He said he loves working for Polk County Public Schools because he is able to create nutritious meals for the adults, high school students, and staff in a diverse environment. Thank you, Albert, for what you do for Polk County Public Schools and the students and staff. We appreciate you. Christy Carrillo is a food service manager at Fort Meade Middle Senior. This is on the nomination form when asked how they put students first in their everyday work. Throughout her service at Fort Meade Middle Senior, Ms. Carrillo has witnessed firsthand the need for students to have enough food at home. Knowing this, Ms. Carrillo spearheaded the idea to start a food bank. This included applying for a $500 grant from the Polk Education Foundation, shopping, organizing, and getting the word out. With a small amount of money, Ms. Carrillo was able to serve a few students for a few weeks. Seeing the demand, she enlisted the help of others to increase the support and provide more meals. This included speaking to the school advisory committee, reaching out to local churches and organizations, and seeking donations from other prominent individuals. This proactive approach to meet the need of many students caught the eye of the Feeding Tampa Bay organization. Now, Ms. Carrillo receives nearly 2 to 4 pallets of food and other items each week to help feed the students and families of Fort Meade. On her own time, she organizes the pantry, accepts delivery of food, and prepares to open each week. Every Friday, she provides 4 to 5 days' worth of food to nearly 100 families in Fort Meade. This is phenomenal action, truly making a difference. Ms. Carrillo is the living embodiment of students first. She ensures our students are taken care of. Fort Meade Middle Senior and the Fort Meade community are a better place because of her. Congratulations. Next, we have Sharon Butteroff, who's a food service manager at the district office here. She said that she is deeply honored to have been nominated for the Focus on Excellence program. She's extremely grateful for the great group of ladies she has on her team and the wonderful support system from her director and supervisors. Congratulations, Sharon.
Great job.
Adam Roberts, who's a math coach at Lewis Anna Woodbury Elementary. He said he loves being able to build capacity in our students and teachers to teach them new skills and watch them master those skills and seeing as they grow in confidence. We are afforded such a unique experience in our jobs, and he is thankful to be a part of that. Congratulations. Janelle Lane, who is Admin Assistant Dean at Alta Vista Elementary. When asked to share a story about her everyday work and how she puts students first, this is what the nomination form said. Ms. Lane is a shining example of what can be achieved through hard work, dedication, and relentless pursuit of greatness. She is fair, and it is evident that students are always first. Her contribution with assisting the teachers with student behavior and always providing strategies and ways to assist students have made a significant difference, and we look forward to witnessing her continued success and positive influence that she has on those around her. Congratulations. All right. We have Theron Tucker, who is a school social worker and student services department. What Mr. Tucker said he loves most about his job is the fact that he gets to serve students and families that are in need. He strives every day to influence, change, and make a positive difference in the lives of students that he supports. Polk County Public Schools provides the opportunity for him to do so. And we thank you for all you do for Polk County Public Schools.
Nice.
Wow. Big turnout. Good evening.
Nice.
And next we have Danielle Hippley, who's a reading coach at Highlands Grove Elementary. And this is why Danielle loves what she does for Polk County Public Schools. She said education is strongly rooted in the relationships of all kinds with your students, their families, your colleagues, and the district departments. Over her 12 years working for Polk County Public Schools, she's been so fortunate to have the greatest connections across this county. Serving as an instructional coach over the last few years has allowed her to grow these relationships in such a deeper, grander way. Not only is she able to serve every student at her school, but she is blessed with the opportunity to support the teachers on her campus. Additionally, she is fortunate to have some various outlets outside of her school that she leans on strongly for guidance and direction for how to best serve her school. She has been blessed during her time working for Polk County Public Schools. Thank you for all you do, and we appreciate you.
Oh.
That concludes my presentation for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Wyatt, if you'll remain where you are. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Allen, Board Chair, to please come forward for a presentation.
Great. And Mr. Hyde, if you can join us down there too. So fellow board members and Superintendent Hyde, as we know, we've had a great leader for the last 2 years, so I thought it'd be a very important thing to personally and for us to recognize her in the 2 years of service that she gave to us in her chair position. So first of all, I was just reflecting back, and I know as the vice chair over the last year, she had to really put up with a lot of the pencil antics that
Am I getting my own pencil?
that I brought her way. So I thought that I would start by, passing the official pencil your way, but it is there to say that we are grateful for you and your service. And then secondly, I did a little bit of like a projective qualitative research on Miss Sarah Beth Wyatt, and basically what I did is I reached out to 3 female leaders within our community, and I asked them a question, that went like this. I said, hey, if you can compare Sarah Beth Wyatt to a car, what would it be and why? So these were the responses that I got. So I reached out to Commissioner Martha Santiago because she was chairing the board of the BOCC as Sarah Beth was chairing our board as well. And this is what she says. I'm going to compare Sarah Beth to a Toyota Camry because of the dependability and reliability. Sarah's leadership as chair demonstrated both of these qualities. She has offered consistent and reliable leadership to the board, superintendent, school personnel, and the community. And then secondly, I reached out to Katie Worthington, which you know so well, and it's filling her shoes as she went to the LEDC, and I know that your friendship is relevant to this question. And when I talked with her, she really wrestled through this one, and because there was no way to really define Sarah Beth with one car, so she chose 2. Oh. Yes, so she said a Subaru because of her reliability. And I mean, typically when I think Subaru, I think trendy, but she chose the word reliable. And then secondly, I know, exactly, Corvette, because it's like passion. So Sarah Beth being reliable and passionate. And I would say in this projective qualitative research, those 2 qualities did stick out. And then lastly, I reached out to your sister and asked her to give an automobile as well. And this is what she said. Sarah Beth is a Chevrolet, SUV. Down to earth, practical, efficient, and reliable. Not afraid to get her hands dirty. She has enough grace and space with third row seating to welcome in others for a seat at the table so they can share their talents along the ride. So the data is clear. The data is clear, Ms. Wyatt. You've been a passionate, reliable leader, and you have welcomed all stakeholders to the table. And for that, we are thankful for your leadership and would like to present you with this plaque. All right. So I would say let's get over here and celebrate you. Great, thank you, Superintendent Hyde. And just a quick thank you to everyone that took time out of their schedules to join us this night. It's great to see a packed house and then to celebrate students and achievement as well. So board members, the next item on our agenda is public comments for items on the agenda to be voted upon. And we did not receive any speaker cards for that. So at this point, we are going to move on to our next agenda item. So board members, now we need to approve 2 sets of minutes. And that the first set of minutes is from the November 14th, 2023 work session meeting. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the November 14th work session meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Sharpless made the motion and Ms. Fields made the second. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. The second set of minutes is for the November 14th school board meeting, and the chair will entertain a motion to accept the November 14th, 2023 school board meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
All right, Ms. Fields made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And the motion carries. All right, and the next item on our agenda is the approval of today's consent agenda. And the chair will entertain a motion to accept the December 12th, 2023 consent agenda as printed. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Cunningham made the motion and Rick Nolte seconded. Any discussion? All right, very good. Seeing none, I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. And moving down our agenda, we come now to the action agenda for this evening. And our first item on the agenda is the Perkins 5 secondary grant approval accepting we've got $1,430,838 from the state to assist our career tech education area. And do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
All right. Mr. Sharpless made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded that. Any discussion?
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Sharpless, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chair Allen. I just wanted to say Perkins funding is absolutely critical to our career technical education programs. And as someone who is a career technical education student and teacher, I fully support this item and will be voting yes.
All right, very good. Thank you, sir. So the motion on the floor is to approve the Perkins 5 Secondary Grant Award. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, and the motion carries. Next, we have the appointment for the Polk County Value Adjustment Board. We do have two separate items on this, as we discussed earlier today. And as you know, the first one is the motion to appoint Lisa Miller as the district's liaison to the Polk County Value Adjustment Board.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
So Ms. Wyatt has made the motion, and Ms. Cunningham has seconded. Any discussion, fellow board members, on this? All right, seeing.
On this, it also says to appoint an alternate. We could do those together.
Can we? I plan to do it second.
You did? I
Or
didn't know
separately.
you caught that. I'm sorry. Okay.
All right, so we'll go ahead and vote on Lisa Miller as the district's liaison. Any other comments on this? All right, so I'd like to call for a vote now. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Very good, and the motion carries. Secondly, we do need to appoint, as noted, as Mrs. Cunningham noted, our alternate. So that would be Sarah Beth Wyatt, who has stepped up to continue her role in that place. So do I have a motion and a second on that?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Cunningham made the motion, and Ms. Fields seconded. Any discussion on this one, fellow board members?
Ma'am, no thank you.
All right, very good. I'm going to call for a vote then. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? And that motion carries. All right, and the next, we will go into a public hearing at this point. I now open the public hearing, and the first,
Old Vision.
oh, stand
Vision
by.
is the second one.
Yep, I do. Sorry, I missed that one.
Okay.
Let's come back to that one. So we need to appoint our director for the Polk Vision Board of Directors. And as noted early in our discussion as well, we had Sarah Beth as stepping up and to serve in that capacity. And she is now in her second year of her second term that she would be pursuing. So do I have a motion on appointing Ms. Sarah Beth Wyatt to continue in her Polk Vision Board of Directors role?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Sharpless made the motion, and Ms. Fields seconded. Any discussion? Very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Same sign, and the motion does carry. Thank you very much. All right, and now, next, we'll actually go into our public hearing. I open the public hearing. The first order of business is any comments on the public hearing agenda items. And at this point, we have not received any cards on that as well, so we're just going to continue on. And as you know, in this agenda item, we've got several policies, and I plan to vote on those individually as well. So the first item is our policy updates. We have several revisions, deletions, and additions. And again, we'll take them separately. So I will take a motion to approve policy 2266, which is entitled the Title IX Sexual Harassment Complaint and Investigation Procedures. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Wyatt made the motion, and Ms. Fields seconded. Any discussion, fellow board members? All right, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And the motion carries. Next, I'm going to take a motion to approve policy 5136, and this is entitled Wireless Communication Devices. Do I have a motion and a second on this one?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Cunningham made the motion, and Mr. Sharpless seconded. Any discussion? Very good. I'd like to call a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? And the motion carries. Moving on down the list here, I've got a motion, or I need a motion, to approve policy 7544. This one's entitled Use of Social Media. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. White made the motion, and Mr. Sharpless seconded. Any discussion? All right, very good. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. And the motion carries. We are now moving down to policy 1242, professional learning. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sharpless made the motion. Ms. Cunningham seconded. I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Now we have a motion, I need a motion to approve policy 3242, professional learning.
So moved. Second.
All right, very good. Ms. Wyatt made the motion and Ms. Fields seconded. Any discussion, fellow board members? Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? And the motion carries. Now down to policy 2120, entitled School Improvement. I'll take a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Fields made the motion and Mr. Sharpless seconded. Any discussion? Very good. I'll call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And the motion carries. Now I'll take a motion to approve policy 2370, which is entitled Educational Options. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Sharpless made the motion. I need a second. Ms. Fields made the second. Any discussion? Very good. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And the motion carries. I will now take a motion for policy 8475, and just as you note, that one was not mentioned in the summary, but it is listed there. So this one's entitled Criminal Background Screening for Contractor Access. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All right. So I had heard Ms. Cunningham made the motion, Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion, fellow board members? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote at this point. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Very good. So now we're moving on to the deletion of, the next three will be a deletion. So we have policy 1217 entitled Weapons, and I need a motion to approve the deletion of this policy.
So moved.
Ms. Wyatt made the motion and Ms. Fields made the second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And the motion carries. Now we're moving on to the deletion of policy 3217 entitled Weapons. Again, I need a motion to approve the deletion of this policy. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Fields made the motion, Ms. Wyatt made the second. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, very good, and that motion does carry. Now we're moving on to the motion to approve the deletion of policy 4217.
So moved. Second.
All right, so I got a motion from Ms. Fields and then a second from Ms. Wyatt. Any discussion on this one? Seeing none, I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And the motion carries. All right, so we are now down to policy 5772. I will take a motion to approve this policy. Again, policy 5772, and it's entitled Weapons. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sharpless made the motion, Ms. Wyatt seconded. Now I'll call for a vote on this one. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the motion carries. Now we're back to approving another policy. This one is 7217 entitled Weapons. Do I have a motion and a second to approve policy 7217?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Sharpless made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. I would like to call a vote for this. Any discussion, board members? All right, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Moving down to our last policy on this one, I will take a motion to approve policy 5771. This one's entitled Search and Seizure.
So moved.
Second.
All right, very good. I have a motion by Ms. Cunningham and a second by Ms. Wyatt. Any discussion, fellow board members, on our last policy here? Okay. I'll call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. And that concludes that agenda item. I just want to say thanks to our staff and board members for your work on these policies. Now, moving down on our agenda to R1, this is our superintendent's report. Superintendent Hyde, do you have a report for us tonight?
I do. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. One quick apology. So I did have to correct the data file that I sent you. I misrepresented. I inadvertently mixed up two of our schools. Davenport School of the Arts received an A grade, and Rochelle School of the Arts received the B grade. I apologize. I also attached the data file and a corrected academic assessment summary for you. So thank you, board members, for pointing that out and defending your schools feverishly behind closed doors to make me go back and revisit that. There is a lot of competition, as if you've never noticed, amongst our board members, and rightfully so. They take a lot of pride in what they do, so thank you. It's my honor to recognize schools for their accomplishments, as you heard me do earlier. Board members, I'd also like, and I'm going to steal at least one board member's thunder, but maybe it's teased them up for a longer conversation. I want to congratulate our Lakeland Dreadnoughts on back-to-back state championships. It was an amazing game. It was 21-20 going into the half, and it was 60-42 at the end of the game. It was definitely not a defensive game. It was very much on the offensive side. But kudos to them. I think a lot of people counted them out with Mr. Castle's transitioning out of that role. You know, what would happen to the program, and talk about a group of young men and team of coaches and support staff that really worked to make sure that they supported those students and they demonstrated success on the field and off. But I could say that about countless other schools and programs here. I've had some conversations with board members of late. You know, unfortunately, when you're in a school district, tragedy will strike from time to time. And, you know, each of us struggles with that, and it weighs very heavy on my heart. Anytime we have a student involved in an accident or a staff member involved in an accident, it happens far too frequently. I've provided you with an update. It is unfortunate. We have lost 17 students this year to various issues and reasons, but the majority of which are traffic related. And so we have to continue to work to focus. I'm very proud of our partnership with Polk Vision and now with the county and with other agencies to see what we can do to further continue to emphasize improvements around our campuses with sidewalks and flashers and crosswalks to make sure that our students are safe when they're getting in proximity to our campuses. But that does not minimize the responsibility that others have in our community. You must be attentive of our students who are riding their bikes or walking, especially in those areas where they're not well lit or there aren't sidewalks and their students are on the shoulders. So please continue to be cautious. I don't want to go through this holiday and receive a message or have to share with any of you that we've lost another student. Our hearts and prayers go out to all of our families who have lost a student, especially those of late. And I'm very proud of how our schools and our communities respond. I got to attend the Auburndale event this last weekend in remembrance of their senior who passed, an amazing young man, reminded me far too much of my own son. And, but as much as that weighs heavy on my heart, I want to also acknowledge as we go into the Christmas holiday break, the joy that we have and happens in our buildings every day. And I shared this commentary with several of you. You know, for every bad issue or issue we struggle with on a daily basis because we're working with children and young adults and adults to ensure that we're preparing them for life, the reality of it is somewhere today, hundreds of kids learned to read. Somewhere today, hundreds of kids got a hug. Somewhere today, hundreds of kids made a new friend. And so what we accomplish every single day is absolutely amazing. And it overshadows a lot of the negatives. But again, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge all the things that you have to go through in dealing with these losses. I know all of you take it to heart as well. But in the season of giving thanks and recognizing and giving love and, you know, recalling fondly what the things that have happened throughout the year as we look at our academic assessment data and all the incredible improvements we saw this year, as we look at our students and our staff and how we work together to make sure that they're successful. I just want to remind people of that and keep that at the center as we go into the holiday season, and keep that center in our hearts, that we keep everyone else in our hearts as well, and our fond thoughts and our prayers, because as we go into this holiday season right now, there are a lot of people who are still struggling, and we want to be there for them and keep that in mind. So thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. The next work session meeting will be held on January 9th, 2023. The work session will begin at 9 a.m. This meeting will be held here at the district office located at 1915 South Floral Avenue in Bartow, Florida. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. Next on our agenda is the attorney's report.
First, I'd like to request authority to advertise a public hearing to be held on January 23rd, 2024, during the regularly scheduled board meeting for policy updates, including 6320, purchasing and contracting for commodities and contractual services, 6320.01, selection of construction contractors and subcontractors, 6322, construction contracting, 6325, procurement, federal grants funds, 6450, local purchasing, 7421, restrooms and changing facilities, and 9800, charter schools. Yes, ma'am. If we could have a motion and second and approve that, please, sir.
All right, very good. I'll call for a motion and a second on this.
So moved.
Okay, Ms. Cunningham made the motion and Ms. Fields made the second. So now I'll call for a vote on this. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Bridges.
My office will take care of the advertisement. I'd also like to express my admiration and respect to Sarah Beth Wyatt for a lovely 2 years under your chairmanship. And I would suggest that beneath that sweet and sunny disposition, there is iron. You ran a good meeting. Yes, ma'am. And last, I'd like to say to each of you, to our staff, to our students and their families, a happy holiday, each according to their tradition. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Next item on our agenda is our auditor's report. We do not have an audit report. Ms. Matthews, thanks for being present in our meeting. You did receive your last audit report November 29th, so if you need to address anything in that report, you can check with Ms. Matthews. Now we come to the part in the evening where we get to hear from you, board members. So next is our board members report, and as noted earlier in our meeting today, we're going to start alphabetically by first name, so that's going to be District 6, Mr. Sharpless.
What a way to start your chairmanship, something different. I have a few things. I'm going to try to stay positive and upbeat, even though I will say the somber comments from Superintendent Hyde certainly are echo in all of our board members' hearts. First thing, I really enjoyed myself. I got to go down to Ben Hill, Frostproof Ben Hill Griffin Elementary for the Great American Teach-In, and I got to talk to some fifth graders there, and it was really energizing and seeing the great things that are happening on that campus. Also want to congratulate George Jenkins FFA. Their forestry team were state champions. So props to Lakeland for winning back-to-back state football champions. Props to George Jenkins for being the state forestry champions. I'm a big proponent of career technical education and the student organizations that are a part of that. Also, I know board member Miller's not here with us, but she said she's listening, so I want to make sure to include her on this. I attended the Gene Odell Winter Performance and got to see their, just amazing students and teachers. The teacher there that's working with the students was just the patience and the care. You can see all the staff at that school truly care about their students, and it was great to see board member Miller there as well. This morning, I served as a parliamentary procedure judge for the FFA contest at Auburndale High School. So board chair, parliamentary procedure questions, I do know a thing or two about it, so I got to judge it this morning. And finally, I know we don't have a whole lot of people here right now, but I do know people watch on YouTube, and I'm hoping our staff are watching right now. I just want to say, enjoy this break. You've earned it. Teachers, school staff, administrators, students, parents. You earn this break. So try to enjoy it and come back refreshed in a few weeks. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Thank you, Mr. Sharpless, very much so. And moving from Justin Sharpless, that would move us to District 5, Kay Fields.
Thank you. I wanted to thank the staff. I want to thank Miss Linda and Miss Yvette, and I also want to thank Mr. Sharpless for reaching out to me after my appeal at our last board meeting about the United Way. And I'm making a sacrifice to make a donation to United Way, and I thank you all for that. And I'm going to continue to encourage everyone to consider doing that, because United Way makes a tremendous impact in our community, and we never know when we actually might need the services that United Way provides. And I thought about one of the employees that was recognized with the food bank, and it is just so sad to know so many people are hungry and don't have food to eat at the end of the day. And a lot of the kids that we serve, the only food that they get is the food that they get in the cafeteria at our schools. And I even had one mom to say to me, I don't know what we're going to do for the 2 weeks that we're out on school break. I just need food. And so I think we just sometimes take things for granted, and thank God that United Way is able to help fill that gap along with our employees like the person that was recognized today. So I just wanted to say that. Also, let me get my notes. I had an opportunity to go to McLaughlin, and I was just in awe at the ESE Ag Farm. If you have not had a chance to go and to witness that, you should. To see those students engage and taking the seriousness of caring for the animals is just amazing to me. And Miss Gary is the instructor, the teacher over that program, and she's done an amazing job there. So you can actually take students there for field trips, and I'm going to be pursuing that for Girls Inc., because I think it would be a very valuable opportunity for many of our girls just to experience feeding an animal. I showed Superintendent Hyde the picture of me feeding a donkey. Can you imagine that? And it was cute. I was a little bit afraid at first, and then one of the parents said, well, let me get you a bigger carrot, and if you do that, he can just nibble and not have to take it out of your hand. So I said, thank you, Lord. I appreciate that. So I just wanted to give a shout out to those students and to the staff for doing such an amazing job there with that. And we continue to have our health strategy committee meetings, and Superintendent Hyde, I think we've been having some very productive meetings, and the message is loud and clear that we will not be entertaining a $14 million deficit for the upcoming year. So we're going to be bringing, hopefully, some good things, and the board and you can look at it and do what's best for our employees and what's best for our school district. And Superintendent Hyde talked about all of the tragedies that we've had, and most recent, the tragedy at CFAA with Jason Crabtree. And tomorrow, the students at CFAA will be leading a memorial service in his honor at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I would imagine if any of y'all are free, I'm sure you feel free to come by for that. And Antonisha Andrews is the theater teacher at Bartow Middle School, and she happens to also be my goddaughter. And she sent me some information about a Christmas production that they're doing tonight at 6:30, and she wanted to invite you to stop by and to see the students in action. I think this might be their first ever production. So you're right in the city, and so if you don't have anything to do after you finish with the meeting, you can at least drop by for a few minutes. I told her I would say that to you. And then I wanted to thank the superintendent and Sheriff Grady Judd for the video that you all did on safety. I think that it is very much needed, and I think that everyone needs to slow down. And as you said in the video, Superintendent Hyde, be aware and be alert of your surroundings. So hopefully everyone will take that to heart. And the last thing that I'm going to say is, Superintendent Hyde, I would encourage you to get some rest over the holidays and to put that phone down, and it'll be there when you come back. Your health and your mental health is very important, and we want you around for a long time. So I just want to encourage you to do that. And believe me, it will be there when you get back. And I want to thank Sarah Beth for doing an amazing job as the chair. I've seen a lot of growth in you, which is good. And motherhood seems to be agreeing with you as well. And I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and happy holidays. And get some rest. You deserve it. And thank you.
Ms. Fields, thank you so much. Moving on to District 2, Ms. Cunningham.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. I just have a few things. First of all, I wanted to report that I attended the Northeast Area Town Hall, and it was held on November 16th up at Davenport High School. And I was amazed. It was a very, very rainy, kind of bleak night, and we only had a few parents show up. But there were 23 district staff members that came from this neck of the woods all the way to the opposite corner of the county to talk to families about opportunities and things that are available to each of their students and families. So I was just really encouraged how it didn't matter if there was one parent in the room or 100. Our staff stood up there and talked about what we do and how we do it, where they can get assistance or help, like it was an entire auditorium of people. I was so impressed with our staff that night. So I just want to say kudos. I think it was Tammy Castles, now Williams, kind of headed the whole thing up, and they did an amazing job for each of the areas that were represented that evening. So kudos to that team. And then last week, on December the 5th, I currently sit as the liaison to the Audit and Finance Committee, and we had a wonderful meeting. Lots of information was discussed, and I'm just going to give the board the highlights. It was announced that, of course, they are currently working on our district audits. The reports have been generated, and based on their estimate, they are scheduled to finish it, the district audit, in January, bring it to the board in February, and hopefully then file it accordingly in March. So yes, we are on the ball. The district is on time this year. I know you remember last year we were a little bit behind the 8 ball. Well, they have put all kinds of things into place and started the audit early, and I'm just so proud of the team for how hard they've worked to get us, if I can say it, back on schedule, so that we're on the schedule that we need to be to provide our audit to the state. So, and the other thing we talked about were the internal funds. They are working on the audits of our internal funds for the district, which, as you know, is a very important component. A few years back, we changed it to make sure we audited all the schools each year rather than a percentage. And they are hoping that this should be done this month, our internal funds, and then the report would be following, I'm going to assume, in January, the first part of next year. So all good news from our Audit and Finance Committee. All of the individual reports, of course, we get as part of our board information. So we are doing great financially and being very transparent, and our committee's just awesome. They continue to work and provide some great leadership as we move forward. So, and I just too want to wish everybody a very blessed and Merry Christmas. And for those that celebrate a different holiday, happy holidays to you and yours. Stay safe. And to my kids, I always say, read, read, read. Readers, learners and readers become leaders. Readers become leaders. So if you take the extra time, read to your children, or if you're old enough, children that are listening, grab a book out of the library. We have the library cooperative that works throughout all of Polk County. It's a great opportunity to check out some books and enjoy some reading over the holidays. And that concludes my report. Dr. Allen, thank you.
Ms. Cunningham, thank you so much for that information and celebration. Moving now to District 3, Mr. Nolte.
Good evening. Thank you. Since I'm the, teacher up here with 36 years experience in physical education, I've broken my little deal down into 3 periods, as in a hockey game. Okay, firstly, I'd like to thank Nick and Moe's. It's a general type store, gas station. They do a big fundraiser every year. And this past Saturday they had it. They had a great crowd, and they're donating the profits to Polk County School Board and a couple local churches up there. So, great job to Nick and Moe's. And again, it's amazing place. That's period 1. Okay, now we'll do period 2. I'm a follower of President Reagan. He had some great things that he wrote, and this one he wrote in 1981, December. The address to the nation about Christmas. He said, "Christmas means so much because of one special child. But Christmas also reminds us that all children are special, that they are gifts from God, gifts beyond price, that means more than any present money can buy. In their love and laughter, in our hopes for their future, lies the true meaning of Christmas." Period 2's over. Period 3. I'd like to thank all our amazing teachers, paraprofessionals, bus drivers, custodians, maintenance workers, carpenters, cafeteria workers, painters, deans, counselors, media specialists, administrators, school board, superintendent, and anybody I miss, I apologize. Jesus is the reason for the season, and I'm forever grateful to serve on the Polk County School Board. The one thing we can't buy in life is time. So my hope is for all the teachers, staff, parents to get to spend quality time with their children and loved ones this holiday season. Savor these moments. Merry Christmas from my family to yours. Happy Hanukkah, and may we all have a super New Year. God bless.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nolte. And moving on to District 4, Ms. Wyatt.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. Being District 4, I never get to go at the beginning or the end. I'm always right in the middle, so this is kind of exciting. So I have 3 quick things that I just wanted to highlight. The first is we had our class on-site observation for our Head Start department. The end of October, beginning of November, they were on our site in our classrooms, and the results came in and were astounding. So the quality threshold is a score of 6 is the highest you can get. The competitive is 5, and this is for emotional support. Our Head Start program scored a 5.9559 out of 6, which is pretty darn good. For classroom organization, this is again out of the threshold is 6, competitive threshold is 5, and it was a 5.6225. For instructional support, and this is out of 3, the competitive threshold is 2.3, and it was a 2.9216 out of 3. So I always knew our Head Start programs were incredible. I did not have the numbers to back it up. So it's exciting to see that the numbers match what I think we all already knew. And congratulations to Carrie and her team, because they do a great job with our littlest learners, getting them ready and set up for success. The second thing I wanted to highlight is I got to judge the Havendale Christmas Parade this year, which is about as exciting as you would think judging a parade is. It is some stiff competition out there. I've never seen so many lights on vehicles in my life. But I was very impressed because I know the superintendent has been trying to get around to the different parades. Several of them fall on the same night, and so they have not made it to Havendale yet. However, they submitted a bus And so we had a bus that was all lit up and was advertising the departments that we are hiring for on the side of the bus, which I just thought was incredibly creative. So I don't know whose idea that was, but I would like to give major kudos to the district because it was a great way to advertise to the thousands of people that were along Havendale watching the parade. So great idea there.
That was Rob Davis.
Well, thank you, Rob Davis. It was an incredible idea. And then last, I just want to comment on, so Kamira Farrell, it was one of the bus drivers that won our award earlier. She and I served food together during COVID. We were at one of the school sites, so I got to know her fairly well and now follow her on Facebook. And she joked about her fun Fridays that they listen to music and have a party on the bus. What she did not tell you is if specifically the middle schoolers, if they have a rough day that week, she will play her son's multiplication facts CD for them all the way home Friday afternoon. And I'm pretty sure she's only had to do it once, but I just think it's hilarious and a great way to motivate them to behave on the bus because they apparently didn't like listening to multiplication facts all the way home from school on Friday. But I thought it was very creative. And huge shout out to her and all of our winners this evening. And last, I just want to say thank you to all of your kind comments, all of your research, Dr. Allen. You know the best way to bring me to a few tears is to ask some of my favorite women in the world to say nice things about me. So thank you for those kind comments. Superintendent Hyde, I'm going to echo what Ms. Fields said. I think we can probably all agree that we will not text you or call you about anything other than pickleball for the next 3 weeks. But please take the time to be with your family. Take the time to be with your family and hang out with Patty and Freddie, and because we want you here for a long time. So, but to everyone else, have a Merry Christmas, and we will see you in the new year.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wyatt. And I have a few comments as well. There were 999 words that I wrote, but I will try to slim them down very quickly. And I know that several board members were clamoring to talk about Lakeland High School and the Dreadnoughts, especially Justin. He's the big football guy. I know he's been making his rounds to all of our football games around the county. So I appreciate you holding back on that. But yes, congrats to Lakeland High Dreadnoughts for winning their 9th state championship. Back to back. I mean, wow, what an incredible feat. Transition on a coach, Coach Castle, that's brought so much heritage to that system, and our new coach stepping in to lead that victory. Was definitely watching at halftime as well, and the story changed dramatically after the half. And then, Art Martinez being in his last year there and to win on his last year. So congrats to the coaches, the staff for leading our students to victory. Pretty huge. Number two, secondly, I just want to say thanks to everyone that took part in the Great American Teach-In. All the socials are just ramped up during that time, and you actually really get a glimpse into all the community support around that and the volunteers that come in to engage with our students in a massive way. So I love seeing all the guest list posted out for those that took part in that. I did have a chance to go actually out and tell a little bit of pencil history during the Great American Teach-In, and I actually had a chance to read one of my favorite books at Medola Elementary and then Dixieland Elementary as well. I did a big group photo. I have my 5-foot pencil that I take out with me when I visit schools, and in that large group photo, instead of saying cheese, they all said, "I love pencils." And it was so loud, and I know there was a big disturbance, but it was amazing. And then I had a blast wearing my professor hat, had a chance to go to Lakeland Highlands Middle and speak to their game design pre-academy, and talked about my discipline and the work that I do at Florida Southern College, but really talked about the student success. Some of my students have worked with AAA game studios and grad school at some of the top game schools in the United States. And when I engaged with these students, they were spot on. They were right on it. So Coach Barrington, appreciate your leadership in that pre-academy. You're doing a great job preparing them for the future and possibly jobs that are not even there right now that will be there. Thirdly, had a chance to attend the 78th annual Florida School Board Association. Was joint with superintendents from all around the state. It's always a great opportunity just to bump ideas around, just to hear best practices and grow in that. Had a chance to go through the Chairmanship Academy with Mr. Sharpless over here, and that was just affirming to listen and to learn through that. And again, several other board members, Ms. Miller, she was there, and Mr. Nolte, you always take part in those leadership development opportunities as well, so I really appreciate that. Almost done. So I've been pondering this a bit, and I love stating that it's an honor to serve the most educated workforce in Polk County, right? And I wanted to put something tactile to that. So I had a chance to do a little digging around Polk County, and I wanted to start this new initiative during my public comments. So tonight will be my first one. So basically what I did is I reached out and I wanted to get a collection of individuals that have obtained post-secondary or postgraduate work and are serving our students in the classroom. So the first cohort that I reached out to, I wasn't sure. I'm like, okay, I'm going to send this email out and see what I get. And it was amazing what I got back. So I started with individuals that are serving in our schools and our classrooms that have a PhD. So what I'm going to do is read 2 dissertation titles and abstracts each meeting during my public comment, because I want us to know. And for me as well, I was really affirmed and blown away by the research and that's being done and still shaping individuals out that are reading the work of our staff. So here we go. This dissertation was by Dr. Sarah Roberts, and basically I'm just going in order of the emails that I received, and I've got so many. But this is Dr. Roberts. She's an ESOL teacher at Winter Haven Senior, and the title of her dissertation was Non-Native Accent Bias in High School, an Interpretive Phenomenological Analysis. Wow. And here's the abstract. A problem exists in the inequitable opportunities experienced by non-native accented students in terms of academics, belongingness, and self-efficacy because of the accent bias in the United States high schools. The purpose of this qualitative interpretive phenomenological analysis was to explore accent bias for non-native accented students in a high school located in the southeastern United States. Social identity theory was used as a framework to organize and understand aspects of accent bias for students. 6 high school seniors were self-identified as speaking speaking English with a Haitian Creole accent or Spanish accent were chosen to participate in observations, individual interviews, and journal writing to explore accent bias experiences in the study. Based on its commitment to context and idiographic detail, interpretive phenomenological analysis was chosen to be the methodological subtype to make sense of the participants' experiences. The first conclusion was that the participants subscribed to a common accent myth which placed a disproportionate amount of responsibility and blame for poor communication on them. Another major conclusion from this study was that non-native accented students perceived explicit forms of accent bias more easily than implicit forms and often denied the existence of both. Third, the participants responded to accent bias through silence. The 3 major findings that may relate to accent may be an observable characteristic. This is used to categorize individuals and compare social groups. This research study illuminates new and varied opportunities for future research on accent bias in educational context. Wow. This is in our schools. These are the most educated individuals in Polk County. And then my second one, this was from Dr. Shaimi Cortez Vega, and she happens to be at James E. Stevens Academy, my school, growing up in Bartow. And the title, and she's a literacy instructional coach. Her dissertation title was this: Perceptions of Special Education Teachers on Full Inclusion Debate, an exploratory case study. And the abstract reads this: There continues to be a wide discrepancy in the views supporters and opponents of the full inclusion have on how to best provide services for special education students. Although scholars have extensively researched teacher perceptions of inclusion, the specific examination of special education teacher perspectives are not as evident in the literature when compared to the perspectives of general education teachers. Understanding special education teacher perspectives of the full inclusion debate and how it affects their ability to provide instruction in different special education programs can provide insight into program strengths and barriers to program success. The purpose of this study was to explore how 20 special education teachers located at 4 different Central Florida middle schools perceived conflicting viewpoints on full inclusion. Responses to the interview questions and demographic questionnaire, as well as analysis of a special education document set, provided detailed qualitative data to describe special education teacher perspectives of the full inclusion debate and how they believe the debate affected their instruction in different classroom settings. The study's thematic analysis yielded 6 major themes, which included A, an inconsistent practice, B, student-focused approaches, C, need for support, D, collaborative practices, E, need for continuum of placements, and F, direct instruction. The document analysis yielded 3 central themes that included A, compliance, B, consent, and C, interventions. Results may have implications for leadership and teachers involved in inclusion classrooms or with those leaders in charge of special education program creation and implementation. Again, it is an honor to serve along these amazing educators, and I can't wait to share more of those. Now, as I close with this, as the holiday season approaches, I want to take a moment just to extend my warmest wishes to each and every one within the Polk County school system. May this Christmas season be filled with joy, laughter, and moments of peace, Superintendent Hyde. Your dedication to education is priceless. And by far, education is the greatest pillar of hope within our community, and I believe that wholeheartedly, and you are taking part in it. So hopefully we all and everyone else finds rest and recharge, and hopefully enjoy the company of family, and that's all I have tonight. So the next item on our agenda is public comments addressing items not on our agenda tonight. I do have one card. I don't know if Sherry Marshall is present. So I don't see her, and at this point, I'll just move on from there. So, board members, I would say that the next order of business is adjournment. So if there's no further business, this meeting of the Polk County School Board is now adjourned. Thank you.